And welcome back into Open Line. Chuck Long here with attorney Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm, one of the top law firms, not only in Tennessee, but in the country, over 37 years in business. I tell you, a lot of years, but a lot of experience. And that's, to me, what counts for everything.
Yeah, there's no doubt you can't be in the trenches, under fire, in the battle, in the heat of battle, and survive and not know something to share how you made it through. There's a lot of good lawyers, a lot of great lawyers that aren't standing with us tonight that have gone down during my career.
Well, and I tell you, that accounts for so much, and you've got an ace team that knows so much about so many different topics. So when somebody comes to you, it's not just one area you're able to help them with. You're able to help them with whatever they come to you for.
It's true. Now, you know, I probably have the most experience of all of them in the law firm, but those other guys are brilliant. Our paralegals, I'll go and say, what do you think? I do it every day, all day long, because you know, the Bible says there's safety in counsel, wise counsel, counsel of others. So I live by that. And, you know, they can say one thing, go over what we already know, but it sparks us to think about another idea. So it's all the time you're creating ideas. I think that may be one of the secrets of the Kennedy Law, just coming up with creative ideas. We'll shoot them out, and they say, Kevin, you can't do that. That's not legal. Okay, I'll throw that away. But I might think of another thing that gets within the fence of legal, and let's move.
Well, and I know for our viewers out there too, how many times, just thinking, we're glad that you're watching tonight, we always appreciate that, but how many times when you think about it, have you been in a conversation and you're thinking, what happens if in this situation? Or maybe you're going through something right now and you're thinking, I really need someone to talk to that about. Well, this is exactly where you can do that. If you have one of those legal questions, just call 737-7587. We'll get to as many callers as we can. We're going to go back to our lines right now. Lily is on the line with us. Lily, we're glad that you called in. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I have a question. I was hit by an uninsured motorist, and she caused $7,000 in damage. My insurance company gave me $3,000. And can I take her to court and sue for the difference?
Yes, you can always do that. You know, the one that I was involved with, the wreck, was uninsured. So I'm trying to tell everybody, check your policy. Make sure you have some uninsured motorist coverage, because what I'm anticipating, and we see, lots of cars have no insurance. So when you have a wreck, it's really bad. It's all on you, and it's waste. If you had the uninsured motorist, you can still pursue that claim. We had a death case that we are working on. Right now, I'll teach you one more lesson. Many of the insurance lawyers are wanting Zoom all the time. So we had Sarah with me and another lawyer, and we were all talking. Do we go live? Do we go and talk to them, or do we get on Zoom? Well, it was a debate, and we all said, well, there's pluses and minuses. Over what? Going to Zoom or going out of state where we've got this death case? Well, the truth is, go. And we can look them eye to eye. And we can say when enough is enough, we mean it. And it's different than just clicking off the Zoom, or you get up and say, fellas, we won't take that. And we wrestled all day. We didn't get it settled, but we're coming back again. So I think under the uninsured motorist, that's the best advice we can get. And then when they paid you $3,000, a lot of times they're saying, well, that's it. I still say you can pursue against that person. What are you going to get if you sue them? If they have no insurance, they can file bankruptcy, and you get what, Chuck?
Zero.
Zero, a big nothing. So again, you don't want to spend good money after bad.
All right. Thanks so much, Lily. Great advice there, Kevin. All right, we're going right back to the lines. By the way, if you are just tuning in, just give us a call if you do have one of those legal questions. And again, we will get to as many as we can during the next about 30, 45 minutes. All right, we're going to the lines right now. Brad is on the line with us. Brad, we're glad that you're joining, glad that you're watching. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, sir. I have a question for Kevin.
All right.
Go ahead.
Road rage. What do you do? I mean, I had an episode the other day where a guy just came up side of me and just started cussing me out, and I still don't know what I've done. I know you don't get out, try to fool with them or nothing, but how can you teach these people to quit driving like idiots? I mean, should you try to pursue it to a civil court or just let it go?
Well, quite frankly, you'll be in court all the time if you try to pursue it. Now, what you can do is get a person's license plate and call the police and say, we've got someone here that is out of control. I had a lady that cut someone off in a grocery store, and it was almost a terrible situation. One of the prominent women in Clarksville pulled up and road raged. The girl pulled up and got out and slapped her to the ground on pavement. So what does Kevin Kennedy say? Avoid this, because the odds are great. They have no insurance. You can be dealing with someone who is mentally unstable, and so even if they arrest them, they'll turn them loose because they're saying they don't have the mental capacity to know what's right and what's wrong. So again, we're going to avoid that. If you see it and you can get a license plate number, call it. The police can pull them over and said, were you involved in this? Sometimes they'll be not educated and they'll just tell it all. Yeah, I did some road rage. Yes, I bumped that car. Yes. And then the police said, well, we're going to take you in for your confession. So I want everyone to be extra sensitive. It's going to get intensifying more and more. And thank you so much, Brad, for that. And I thank you for your restraint, because other people are going to get involved. Remember, the halls of justice will scream out with rage when anyone is mistreated at any time. And I'm grateful for people who stand up for others. I'm grateful for citizens who will take that extra step, call the police to protect someone. Strong people stand up for themselves. Stronger stand up for others.
Always good to know. All right, Brad, we do appreciate that call, and kind of following up on Brad's call there. And I know that you've got to assess every situation, but as far as just from the legal standpoint, is it something that you could do under your legal protection to take out your phone and start taping something if someone's approaching you and road rage, whatever the case may be?
Absolutely, you can do that. And quite frankly, we have several cases in my office where allegedly someone was aggravated and pulled a pistol and pointed, and they put the pistol in drive, and guess what? 5 minutes later, they're pulled over and said, hey, a guy said you had a pistol. Can we search your vehicle? Well, they get out and they find the pistol. Well, they've got you. They got a witness. They got the gun. Here we go. So you are right. You can video all the time. Use that in self-defense. Many times we don't want to get into a fight. We only fight when we absolutely have to. And I like to use that same common sense in the courtroom. So if there's a way that we can settle this, because it's always cheaper to get it settled. But again, when they come and say, we will never get off of Chuck, we're going to see, well, then we're going to say, you're not going to take him. So here we go. Do your best, because we're going to do ours.
All right. Thanks so much, Brad. We appreciate you calling in this evening. Right back to the lines right now. Mark is on the line with us. Mark, we're glad that you're joining us here on Open Line. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
I got a question.
All right. Go ahead.
I got a car insurance, and I was in a wreck in my car, and then people tried to sue me, and my insurance people is taking care of it, and they reach a settlement, and I wonder, can they come out to me, try to sue me? Now they're trying to sue me.
All right.
My insurance took care of it and made a settlement.
That's good. So as a general rule, when we have an insurance company that represents us and we pay for their insurance, and they settle with the other car, that concludes it, because they'll make them sign a full release, settlement of all claims, known or unknown. So as a general rule, that's good. Where you get into a problem is the damages are more than your insurance, and your insurance company says, yeah, we've got 25, we've got 50, we've got 100, I'll pay you the 100. There's your 100. Now, Chuck, you're on your own. So I don't want it to get out of hand. If you know it's coming, go get a lawyer immediately. We might divert it and get it settled within the policy limits. We do it every day, all the time. So you need a lawyer, whether you're the victim or you're about to be sued. And if you get into it with a motorcycle accident, you can count on it. They're coming. Can you count on it?
Absolutely.
And so that's just the real, well, I hope they're not, but I'm just telling you, in today's world, they're coming.
That's the way it is. All right, Mark, thanks so much for calling in. Right back to the lines. Rodney is on the line with us. Rodney, thanks for joining us. Do you have a question for Kevin? Rodney, are you with us?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Rodney is on the line with us. Rodney, thanks for joining us. Do you have a question for Kevin? Yes, sir. This is Rodney, and yes,
And Rodney, I'm just gonna, you might want to turn your television down, and that'll take some of that feedback back that I can hear in the background so that you can hear us a little easier.
Okay. I have a problem. I have cancer, and I was taking cancer treatments, and they was giving me the medicine that they give. I don't know the name of it. But in the end, it messed up my joint, my ball joints. They said it killed some kind of bone in there. And I have real bad arthritis right now, and I just wanted to know, how can I pursue that?
Yes, and we're sorry to hear that that you have the cancer, but there's a host of people that are undergoing cancer treatments even as we're saying this. On that release, when they got that, it usually says, now there's going to be some side effects to the chemotherapy, and we're going to do some radiation, and it can create some scar tissue. Now, they are supposed to inform you. If they did not fully inform you of that, you have a cause of action against that group for using that without your full understanding and your full consent. As a general rule, they bring you in and you don't get to see the doctor till you sign all these forms. Well, guess what? In those forms, it's going to have the disclosure. But in your particular case, you know, we've seen death cases where they're given this and they didn't explain it and the treatment killed the person. We have wrongful death cases all the time. So, or they may give too much. And everybody knows that's a deviation from the standard of care in that medical community. So every case is different, every hospital's different, every doctor's different, and so I would certainly try to talk to one of those malpractice lawyers, talk to them privately, tell what your circumstances are, and if you realize this, remember Tennessee has a 1-year statute of limitation or you're forever barred. One more trick for everyone to hear. In Tennessee, they also have 90 days before the statute runs. In Tennessee, you have to have an expert to say that there is likelihood of malpractice. And without that, they could dismiss your action. You can file within the year, but you didn't meet other requirements.
All right, and just to follow up on that, as far as proving that they didn't or did inform you, is it enough for them to just have you sign that waiver?
Great question. Well, what about, you know, you could be already sedated when they say sign this, just sign, we forgot to get this done. Well, if you had a witness over, you said, I was there with Chuck. They never explained anything, never read anything, and he was under medication when he was signing. I was there. Well, you could get an affidavit from them and pursue with the insurance company. How does it work? The insurance company has an adjuster, and then he'll have a supervisor. That guy's got authority up to $1 million. And so then their lawyer, and we make offers, they make counter offers, we go backwards and forwards, and they try to poke holes that you were too old, the economic value wasn't there. But of course, a skilled lawyer will prepare and hire the experts to say this, 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 and we're negotiating. When two smart people come together, you can make your argument, but that's a ridiculous argument, and we have those conversations all the time. And but as a general rule, 90% of the time, more than 90%, we settle them.
All right, good to know. And the general layperson like myself, that's something that you learn when you hear somebody like you tell us that. So that's good to know. All right, we've got a lot of you on the line with us. We will get to as many calls as we possibly can, but we are going to take a short break. When we return, more on Open Line.